This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I am Umudu Kajaga and thank you for joining us. First, here are the main news headlines. The judiciary of the Gambia held its first alternative dispute resolution conference on Friday, looking at different ways to resolve disputes without a trial. The Gambia Maritime Administration on Saturday launched the Women in Maritime for West and Central Africa and Gambia chapter at this year's commemoration of the Gambia, that's the International Day for Women in Maritime. 20 special needs persons and 30 students from various secondary schools across the Greater Banjul area concluded a day's entrepreneurship training organized by Prospect for Girls. The National Human Rights Commission organized 3 days training for law enforcement officials on human rights, humanitarian law, and the handling of sexual and gender-based violence cases. In international news, in a show of his strong belief in Pan-Africanism, Senegal's Prime Minister and leader of the PASTEF party, Ousmane Sonko, has said the time has come for Africa to consider her relationship with Europe, particularly France. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. The judiciary of the Gambia on Friday held its first alternative dispute resolution conference, a platform to share experience and best practices in alternative dispute resolution. Jenna Bosonko has the details.
The judiciary of the Gambia introduced the alternative dispute resolution to address the backlog of cases in the Gambian courts, thereby enhancing improved access to justice. Alternative dispute resolution is any process or technique used by trained mediators to resolve disputes without a court trial. This conference brings together all stakeholders in the judiciary to consult. Here is Hassan B. Jallow, Chief Justice of the Gambia.
Under the new rules of the court, of the High Court, for most types of civil cases, a party is required to have tried ADR before filing a matter in court and to so certify. And once in court, referral to ADR is also compulsory, even though the settling of cases by means of ADR is voluntary and party-driven, where the interest of the litigants is at the center of the process. The appropriate use of ADR processes, its various processes, saves time. It is cost-effective. Perhaps most significantly is the fact that a successful outcome results in a win-win situation for all parties, and that it preserves relationships that could have been and are very much often damaged by an acrimonious litigation process.
19 legal practitioners have been trained to be certified mediators on alternative dispute resolution, including the president of the Gambia Bar Association, Nene MC Cham. Madam Cham urges her fellow practitioners to give ADR options to clients before taking any other step.
And if we are convinced ourselves that alternative dispute resolution is the right way to go, our clients will be. But if we are not, they will not choose to go to mediation. We know that having tried for some form of settlement is a requirement, but some of us think it's just between exchanging letters between lawyers is sufficient. But I want to encourage colleagues to do more. If we own the process of settling disputes before they got to court and prefer it to court so that only matters which cannot really be settled through mediation can proceed in court.
The inaugural Alternative Dispute Resolution Conference is supported by the American Bar Association and the Promoting Rights and Justice Project in the Gambia. Here is Eric R. Miller, the Deputy Chief of Mission at the U.S. Embassy in Banjul.
USAID PRJ has been a steadfast supporter of the Gambia's judiciary. Through its program, we have supported the judiciary to modernize rules, streamline court processes, and establish court-connected ADR. ADR also plays an important role in promoting economic development and stability by fostering a conducive business environment and enhancing social cohesion. ADR contributes to sustainable growth and development. And as we all know, sustainable development was a principal theme of the recent OIC summit here in the Gambia.
The judiciary will hold a mediation week from the 20th to the 24th of May 2024, during which trained and certified mediators will mediate cases identified as suitable for out-of-court settlement. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
The Gambia Maritime Administration on Saturday launched the Women in Maritime for West and Central Africa Gambia chapter at the commemoration of International Day for Women in Maritime, which highlights women's participation in the industry and emphasizes the efforts to include more women. Jenna Basonko again.
115 years ago in 1909, the first International Day for Women in Maritime was celebrated in the United States of America. The theme for this year's International Day for Women in Maritime is Safe Horizons, Women Shaping the Future of Maritime Safety. Research by the International Maritime Organization reveals that women constitute barely 2% of the crewing workforce, predominantly in the cruise sector. According to Karamo Bakari Jane, the Director General of the Gambia Maritime Administration, 30% of the Maritime Administration management team in the Gambia are women. Mr. Jana gives an assurance of his administration's continued support to women.
The Gambia Maritime Administration, together with GPA, Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, and Gambia International Airlines, under the purview of the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure and Ministry of Higher Education, created the Scholarship Award Scheme for grade 12 students to study at Regional Maritime University, RMU. 50% of them are female, studying different maritime disciplines. Now seeing such a huge female number studying the core courses of maritime, the safety and security we desire in the maritime sector shall soon be achieved.
Rohi Samba Jallo, who gave the keynote address focusing on shaping the future of maritime safety in the Gambia, is the first female sea pilot in the country with a master's degree from the World Maritime University in Sweden. For Mrs. Jallo, psychosocial support should be part of the main intervention areas to support women fight or recover from the existing bias in the maritime sector.
Despite my lack of experience, I was driven by an innate fascination for the sea, a calling that will ultimately shape my destiny. My journey, like that of many women in traditionally male-dominated fields, have been fraught with challenges. In a society where patriarchal norms loom large, the mere perception of impropriety cast a shadow on my reputation. I recall a recent encounter where baseless rumors about my character surfaced, painting me as a loose woman and an alcoholic. But I cannot help but wonder, what if such accusations I've heard about them in my youth? Would I have had the strength to withstand the onslaught of judgment? These questions underscore the critical need for psychological safety, a safety that extends beyond the physical realm and shields women from the insidious effects of societal scrutiny.
The Gambia has joined the Women in Maritime Association established in Africa, Arab states, Asia, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the Pacific, covering some 152 countries and dependent territories. This is to bridge gender gaps in the maritime sector. Olimatu Danso is the focal point of the Women in Maritime Association in the Gambia.
WIMOCA is a sub-regional body of women in maritime. The objective of WIMOCA is to harness the potential and contribution of women in West and Central Africa to ensure that sustainable development of the maritime industry in Africa.
It is hoped that the launch of the Women in Maritime for West and Central Africa Gambia chapter will create opportunities for more women captains, chief engineers, pilots, amongst others, in the Gambia's maritime industry. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Sonko.
Prospect for Girls, a not-for-profit girls' right and empowerment advocacy organization, concluded a day's entrepreneurship training on Thursday for 20 special need persons and 30 students from various secondary schools across the Greater Banjul area. Ansumana Iswenyasi tells us more.
Supported by the GCCI, the training was organized to instill an entrepreneurial mindset and provide participants guidance on best business practice for those starting a business. To ensure inclusivity and extend skills acquisition opportunities for girls, particularly the marginalized, 20 persons with special needs participated in the training. Following days of training on essential business planning and investment, Prospect for Girls certifies participants, indicating their completion of what were 4 days of rigorous training. Kujeka, founder of Prospect for Girls, explains why she set up her organization and encouraged participants to utilize the experience gained from the training. Her message to the trainees was echoed by Olimoti Sadia Dean.
One of the reasons why Prospect for Girls was founded was to give girls like you the opportunities to embark on any journey that you believe you can, because we know that you can.
So it is at this age that you already need to have build that thinking capacity. You already need to have an idea of what you need to do. And I also want to emphasize on skills. Skills is very important.
Sharing messages of advice to the upcoming entrepreneurs, CEO of the Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce, Fatima Mulosi, and Mohamed Koka, one of the facilitators of the training, also implored them to make best use of this opportunity by applying the experience gained from the training in their business dealings to be assured of higher success rates.
So as young people, all I would say is for you guys to keep going. You are not too young to start doing great things for yourself. I know a lot of people would discourage you, but keep going. Focus, because that's the only mentality that I have.
So please remain strong and make sure that you are very consistent with what you do. And last but not least, get a mentor. Get someone that is going to help you, guide you towards your journey, because you can't do it alone. You definitely need to work with someone who's going to support you, who's going to guide you in terms of you achieving your vision.
At the end of the event, trainees Amiba, Babukar Jadama and Beatrice Mendy thanked Prospect for Girls for the opportunity and shared how the training will impact their lives.
Among all these 1,500 schools in the country, we were very lucky to have such a wonderful opportunities. Words can express how much this means to us. We will try our best abilities and utilize the knowledge we have gathered from this training.
Has indeed, increased our knowledge on entrepreneurship, and we are very grateful of the training, because some of us here, before we came here, we were thinking how to establish our businesses, but we have not got the idea of where to start.
This training has contributed a lot to my education. It is a wonderful opportunity to be taught by so many professional entrepreneurs in the Gambia. They have taught me a lot. As an entrepreneur, you should not jump into conclusion. You have to do marketing research. You have to go to the society, ask some questions before opening a business.
Prospect for Girls was founded by women's rights and empowerment advocate Kujeka and coordinated by Jennifer Sonko, a TV presenter and youth advocate, to promote vocational skills and health education among girls and women in the Gambia. Ansumane Sonyase for KTV News.
That will take us to a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. This is QTV News. The National Human Rights Commission organized a 3-day training for law enforcement officials on human rights, humanitarian law, and the handling of sexual and gender-based violence cases. I attended, and this is my report. This 3-day training will help law enforcement agents to improve their work on law enforcement while maintaining respect for human rights. Emmanuel Daniel Juve, chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, elaborates.
So instances of human rights violations, including acts of sexual and gender-based violence, continue to pose some significant challenges within our society. It is still there. And we also do have reports of human rights violation. It is therefore imperative that we address these challenges head-on. Let us not shy away from them. Let us talk about them. Let us look at solutions. And this workshop provides us with a unique opportunity to do so.
The forum will focus on a comprehensive model on human rights, humanitarian law, and handling of sexual and gender-based violence issues. Priscilla Yagusise, a consultant, says the training manual is developed to prepare the security sector to uphold human rights.
The development of the module and the training manual for the Gambian Security Service, which contributes as part of a crucial component of promoting a culture of respect for human rights, enhancing accountability, and trying to address gender and sexual-based violence in the country and within the security sector.
Gambia had one of the most notorious security agencies under exiled former President Yahya Jammeh, who has been accused of using state agencies to jail, torture, and murder those who oppose his rule. The security sector is alleged to be the perpetrators of most of these rights violations. Abubakar S. Jeng, National Security Advisor, and Safi Nyang, a representative of the Minister of Justice, says this training is promoting the recommendations of the TRRC.
This is actually one of the recommendations from the TRRC for us to provide training materials and train the security sector. If you've been reading or following the recommendations, or maybe if you've had the chance to look at the implementation plan, you'd realize that most of the recommendations are on law reform and matters of security sector reform. So it is actually apt that this training is actually being carried out for the security sector.
This training of trainers is an important step in the right direction to ensure both respect for and application of human rights by personnel of the security sector. This is what you need to take away from here after the 3 days. As the National Security Advisor, I consider the National Human Rights Commission as a key partner in the realization of the TRRC Never Again mantra and the sustainment of our democracy and rule of law endeavors.
After a democratic change of power in the Gambia in 2017, the country embarked on a transitional journey. The Gambian government identified security sector reform as one of the key priorities in its National Development Plan. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News. Google developers group in Brusubi on Tuesday hosted young people engaged in computer science and technology at the Q City Hall in Bijilo. Lamin Dabo was there, and this is his report.
This event is aimed at widening the understanding of Google developers to enable them to network and so increase effective utilization of artificial intelligence. Malik Kolawole Lanlokun, Brusubi Google Developers Group chapter leader, explains why the event is organized.
It's a watch party to stream the Google I/O event that is currently happening internationally in the Google space. The Google I/O event is an event that is organized annually by Google to announce their products in the different spaces.
Artificial intelligence AI is a branch of computer science that focuses on building and managing technology that can learn to autonomously make decisions and carry out actions on behalf of a human being. Amadou Jallo is a volunteer at the Brusubi Google Developers Group.
You could be a student or not a student. If you are interested in it, it's something that you should explore. You don't need to go to the university to actually do this thing, right? Not necessarily that. If you are passionate about it, you can actually start learning about it. And there are a lot of resources out there to help you. And the Google Developer Group, Brusubi, is also a place where you can come and then meet people.
As we move further into the 21st century, artificial intelligence has already become part of our day-to-day lives in our homes, workplaces, and public spaces. AI is used in apps like Google Maps and Waze to analyze real-time traffic data and provide the fastest routes. Email filtering. AI helps filter out spam emails, categorizing incoming emails, and even suggesting quick replies on some email platforms. Our Jame, a student at GTMI, shares her views.
I'm really happy to be here because I've learned a lot of things. Like, I'm really passionate about coding and this technology stuff. The host said that AI is not part of the future. AI is the future. And I believe that since we have a lot of things, everything now concerns AI. Everything we do in life concerns AI. And I'm really fascinated about things I learned in this event.
Asiatu B. Ture, a student at the University of the Gambia, was also in attendance.
Before coming to this event, I used to hear people saying AI is going to take our jobs from us. And after attending this event, it has been made clear to me that that is not possible. The AI cannot take our jobs from us. AIs are being created to help us innovate ourselves and to perform our jobs easily.
The overarching goal of artificial intelligence systems is to analyze data and harness patterns from that data to better improve task and output. With artificial intelligence, computers can learn to complete tasks that require more intelligence and in some cases do things that humans cannot do without the calculating power of a computer system. For QTV News, I am Lamin Alaifandindawo.
We completely ran out of time. Thank you very much. That's it for QTV News tonight.